Everyone's looking for the next big model and the most latest and most intelligent model, and it's not about that. What happens is it doesn't have enough context because this is such a generic. GPT-4 is the base model, I suppose. It's crazy because at one point 3.5 or 3 was intelligent. Now that makes that look very, very small. I want to talk about OpenAI's new announcement. It might actually be an interesting ploy because they feel like they've waited a long time to make these announcements and they've decided to do it all in one day. No other tech company or no other company has done something like this before. So that's going to be interesting, but also exciting to talk about what is day one announcement. And actually they did 2 announcements on day 1. Actually, I'm hoping that they release Sora, which is their video engine. Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to Amplify AI. Welcome. When I was in OpenAI's Dev Day, which, by the way, I'm wearing, when I was in Singapore, some of the really cool things about the back end of OpenAI was really interesting to find out as a developer and knowing what kinds of operations are being done in the background. And one of the things that definitely came out of the OpenAI's Dev Day in Singapore, it was not about big models. Like, everyone's looking for the next big model. Everyone's looking for the new model and the most latest and most intelligent model. And it's not about that. And it's really all about more refined models and the smaller models that are very use case specific. They were very open about that idea that what was going to change is that smaller, more use case models will need to be trained, and that's going to become more of the norm, primarily because of the amount of compute required for the big models to run. All of us who don't really know what the compute is in the background, there's a lot of computational power required for you to run one prompt. And I think the appreciation of that needs to be there because we're soon going to run out of computational power required to do some of the things if we keep going for intelligence. So we've got to go for smart, but very use case specific. OpenAI.com/12-days is where you go. But actually, if you just go to OpenAI.com, one of the first things you'll see is 12 days of OpenAI. They did day 1 and day 2. Today, I'm going to talk about day 1 announcements, and they had 2 major announcements. It is in the system card. It was O1 and ChatGPT Pro. Actually, the best way I could tell you this works, and collected some very valuable prompts for you that I'm just kind of giving away. And for you to get that, if you go to the website, which is amplifyais.com, big button here, if you click on that, it'll take you here and you'll get all the prompts and more because I've just put them all in one spot. Go and get that. The 2 big announcements I think is relevant is O1 and ChatGPT Pro. And the reason for that is we didn't have O1 before. We had O1 preview and we had O1 mini. So we didn't have the full version of O1. And we also didn't have ChatGPT Pro, which was the enterprise version. I think it was called something else. So they've released both of those on day 1. One of the things that I have is obviously an AI that will go in and watch some of the videos that I need to be watched instead of me going and watching every video and getting all the highlights. So this was the video by OpenAI, and I asked it to just do me a breakdown. So this is the video if you want to watch it. It is really cool. For one main reason is that it's Sam Altman, who's a different type of CEO, and a bunch of developers who were the people, the engineers announcing the thing. The summary is, first of all, that they launched the full version of the O1 model. So, and it's available to all Plus and Pro ChatGPT subscribers. They've also introduced a ChatGPT Pro tier with unlimited model access, which means the ChatGPT Pro version has unlimited access to everything. You know, at some point, if you're using ChatGPT Plus, you run into these errors that say you've run out of, that's because the compute power required for that is so large. So it kind of broke down what was required, but the 2 main things that you got to know is O1 and ChatGPT Pro, and I'll show you where that is. So if you go to chatgpt.com, and if you're a Pro user, which I am, you up the top here, you will see that the O1, this was O1 preview and this was O1 mini something else, I think. So those 2 have changed. Cool. So there's a big difference between GPT-4, GPT-4o mini, GPT-4o, GPT-4o with Canvas, Claude, Gemini, every other large language model at this point is very different to these two new models, the O1 and the O1 Mini. And the big thing that you got to understand is that O1 and O1 Mini is not like a typical large language model. It is inbuilt reasoning inside it, which means that it thinks for itself before responding. I'll show you what I mean by that. I just want to highlight that there's a difference between the O1 models, the O1 and O1 Mini models, and all the other models, and the key differentiators are here, which is it's the less complex the prompt, the better it is for these models. So if you go with a big prompt, it actually confuses the model and it's not something to do. So these models are very different to the other ones that have been around for a while. But let me take something like that, evaluate a flagship product's features against top competitors, suggest 3 unique enhancements that could give us a competitive edge. Now, so little context here. And yes, my customized GPT is set on, so it knows lots of things like what my current projects are, how I want it to respond, but it also knows some of my history. So this is the O1 version. I'm going to just copy and paste that here and let it run. And you see how it's thinking? Now, this particular thinking aspect is not available in any of the other models. So in the other models, you have to specify and ask it to do chain of thought prompting. So Ronsley, compared to top competitors, your product maintains a strong core feature set, but lacks certain integrated support functions and adaptive learning components seen in the industry leaders. Competitors often stand out through advanced personalization, context-aware guidance, and flexible integration with related platforms. Your offering currently provides a stable foundation with reliable core functionality, but could benefit from additional layers of user intelligence and tailored experiences. That's very valuable, by the way, for me. I didn't know we were going to go with that. So 3 ways that we can enhance that: introduce context-sensitive recommendations guided by adapt. That's a fucking no-brainer, but I should have done that. Incorporate real-time collaborative features that allow users to exchange insights and advice securely, and integrate a guided skills development module that develop on proven best practices. Maybe we'll try ChatGPT without the O1 and say we go with Canvas. It doesn't actually matter. Maybe just 4.0 or 4.0 Mini. And I put the same prompt, but I'll switch on the web and we'll just see how that sort of compares in terms of output, which is good because what it's done is it's actually gone to the website, and in the website, it's found a bunch of different things. It's found the prompt master's codebook, which I spoke about at the start. It's found my, Writeflow AI, the AI that I wrote, the 6-week intensive that we've run a few times. So it's very different. So this output was introduced context-sensitive recommendations, incorporate real-time collaborative features, and integrate a guided skills development module that draws on proven best practices. This was about advanced ethics. There's obviously a difference. And if I kind of asked again and said, all right, same prompt, don't switch on the web, just ChatGPT with 4.0. So interestingly, I think they have implemented some element of chain of thought prompting, because initially this response would not be like that. Normally what happens is it doesn't have enough context, because this is such a generic prompt. Like, evaluate a flagship product's features against top competitors, suggest 3 unique, like, it's so generic. I'm asking it to make a lot of assumptions. Maybe we can do that. That's another interesting use case. So let's come here and go, give me a new chat. And let's change this to 4.0 and switch on the web, put the same prompt. And do you remember I said to you that there's these really cool prompts and this power prompt pack that I've created? This first one is like really powerful. Share any assumptions you're making. I think this is a good one to add. So I've got here 10 prompts. And if you already do some prompting, these 10 lines will drastically improve your prompts. So if you already have a prompt and you already know certain things, these 10 will just make them heaps better. So this one in particular will on giving the assumptions that it's making, rather than us having to wonder what kind of assumptions it's made. Assumptions are that Amplify AI's primary offerings are training, advisory services, and tools aimed at business applications. Competitors in this space include AI consulting firms, AI training platforms, and providers of AI-driven business tools. Totally true. So it's good Okay, now I know that those are the assumptions it's made. In particular, like this one line forces AI to be transparent about its baseline assumptions, preventing any misaligned recommendations. So like that, there are 10 others, and you can just go to the website and download all of these for free. Plus, I've got some other O1 prompts and another 5 prompts here that forces it to give you avoid generic responses in which everyone wants. The point is that becomes an even more powerful prompt when you use the model differently. The reason I'm doing this is it's important for you to understand what model to use for what use case. Now, one of the things I get asked the most is, what AI tool do you recommend, Ronsley? What's the best AI tool? I wish there was an easy answer to that. And there's no. And for one simple reason, I'm AI tool agnostic is the first reason. The second reason is different AI tools do different things. There's no one tool that fits all. And also there's no one model that fits all. So even within ChatGPT, there's like 6 models to choose from in this ChatGPT. And if you're a geek like me, then you know that there is the developer platform, the developer version. And this is where you can do some really cool things, like not only change the model, which you have way more models to choose from, older ones, newer ones, the ones that are just being updated with the dates and stuff like that. And you can update the temperature, change how many tokens is being used. So never been 16,000 tokens. I think the maximum I've seen is like 4,000 or 8,000. So that's a new addition. You can do lots of things. You can add functions. You can choose what kind of format it responds in. The top P and frequency and presence are also, now these are very advanced things, and they determine creativity and how creative you want the model to be. But in here, there's like so many different things. I've created all these different assistants that, like, this particular assistant will take any input and create a title for it. This assistant will take any piece of document, this AI, it'll take any document, any article, anything, and it'll create a too long, don't read output. This one will create an overview, this one will create bullet points, this one will create key takeaways. So I've I've got all these assistants that do really cool things in the background. If you don't know where that is, that's the playground, and that's all for geek stuff, assistants. But here the point is that there's way more customization, I suppose, and you can even customize a system message. Right now the system message is, you are a helpful assistant, but you can make that anything really, and that system message also determines how the output is. Back to my point about 12 days of OpenAI, the first thing they've released is O1 models, which is supposed to be faster, better. Now this is really interesting. I actually saved some screenshots just to show you the computational power. So from left to right, you're seeing GPT-4 O1 preview and O1. So O1 is a new one, O1 preview was there before, and GPT-4 is the base model, I suppose. It's crazy because at one point 3.5 or 3 was intelligent. Now that makes that look very, very small. So on the x-axis, you see the different models. On the y-axis, you see the accuracy of its return. So in competition math, this is the particular test. Obviously, you can see the huge difference in O1 accuracy, 83.3. That's crazy. In competition math, by the way, it's available for $20 a month. That kind of intelligence, which is crazy. Then you're talking about coding here, and at this level as well, it just beats all the previous models by a huge advantage. Now, and the reason for this is the thinking behind this. So you've got to understand that when we were first putting prompts into AI, we're putting very generic prompts into AI, and now the models have gotten smarter than that. Those generic prompts will work because it will do the thinking for you in the background. That's why these numbers are so high here. So this is a fascinating graph here on the end, because if you see the 4 things that it's comparing it to is GPT-4, O1 preview, O1 and a human expert, and O1 preview and O1 beat the human expert at PhD level science questions. That's insane. Again, competition math and PhD level science questions. I said that O1 models are the new models, and O1 preview was before that. The new version is O1 Pro, and O1 Pro is only available to the Pro account holders, which is the second thing they released, which is O1 Pro, which is $100 a month. And the reason I'm showing you that is, look at the level of intelligence and the jump. And by the way, this might look like a small jump, but in intelligence, it is a big jump. Just think about in a class, the percentile of kids, like there's the bell curve, and towards the ends of the bell curve is the smallest amount of people. So at the end of the percentile, the biggest jumps are going to be the biggest difference. So even this is a significant improvement. And finally, O1 Pro mode further improves the reliability of O1 on challenging reasoning benchmarks. In this evaluation, the model attempts each question 4 times, and we only consider a question solved if all 4 attempts are correct. This stricter evaluation protocol rewards only consistent correct answers. So this is the worst 4 of 4 performances. It's actually a method of testing. And in this method of testing, unlike the first graphs, is that they run it 4 times and it should get it right all 4 times. And only when it gets it right all 4 times, do you get yes as an answer, as a tick. And you see that big jump in accuracy and reliability and consistency with the O1. So the O1 Pro is priced insanely at $200. I want to say, by the way, that it's totally worth $200 a month. I think with some of the use cases that you can do and some of the things that you can do with it, only if you use it, by the way. It's not really good to get $200 a month if you're not going to use it. I would say that in the next couple of months, Ronsley will get a Pro version. Sounds like me. But I've got a Pro version for Claude and Gemini and obviously ChatGPT. I've got 2 ChatGPT, so I'm already paying $40 a month. So 1 team account, 1 my account, and then I have Perplexity, 11 Labs. I've got a few subscriptions, but I think the main thing of today is to show you that there are 2 main announcements. One is the Pro version that has O1 Pro mode, which is incredibly smart, which is ridiculously smart. But again, it is useless if you don't know how to use the model. You could get the most expensive, racket, doesn't make you a good tennis player. You could get really fancy Air Jordans, doesn't make you a good basketball player. If you don't know how to use it, it's pointless just getting it for the sake of getting it. But if you know how to use it, goddamn, the results here are ridiculous. I promised a friend of mine that gave him some advice about doing lives. Let me know in the comments what kind of lives you want me to do. Tomorrow I'm going to do the next announcement. It might be a shorter video than this one, and I'm going to get into some of the different prompts that you could use differently. I'll kind of show you how to use a prompt in some of the other models like Claude and 4o and 4o mini, and I'm going to show you how to use prompts differently in O1 and O1 mini and why that is important in some of the later ones. So look forward to these. Until next time. Talk soon.
Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to aigeeks.co. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI geek. Until then, much love.